Well, we've all been told that at least once in our lives that we need to get more fruit and veg in our diets, don't we? Surely then the logic follows that the more green stuff you eat, the healthier you'll be. For some people, their dedication to a healthy lifestyle is, however, more restrictive.
Yes, vegans cut out all animal products from their consumption, ditching the beef burgers for plant-based alternatives. But is this really a healthier way to live? And could our obsession with lifestyle changes like veganuary be depriving us of the vitamins we so desperately need?
Well, so today, in our head-to-head, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be asking whether being vegan is actually more healthy. And joining us are Ali Houston, a health coach and food entrepreneur, and Monica Price, a nutritionist. Ali, Monica, thank you very much for coming on. Now, you each have 60 seconds, all right, to state your case, and we'll just have a nice wider discussion about the whole thing. Ali, I might as well start with you. Actually, no, ladies first. Ladies first. Monica, you go. Your 60 seconds starts now. Is veganism healthy?
Right, well, veganism is all about food and lifestyle. So it's a food and lifestyle choice. So if you're going to go vegan, you're going to be thinking about you don't want to eat any animal products. You're thinking about perhaps the planet, reducing the climate, the deforestation, the pollution, and you simply want a healthier life. So those are the things that normally people look to and think about when they think about going vegan. It can be a very healthy lifestyle, but there's like everything, like every diet, like every food choice you make, there are ups and downs and pros and cons for each of them. But, you know, veganism is, because it's veganuary, veganism is seen as to be a much healthier lifestyle. And that's simply because the intake of plant-based foods, and lots of fruit, lots of vegetables, is going to be a much healthier part of your diet.
OK, just within your 60 seconds there. Now, Ali, your views, please. Your 60 seconds starts now. Is veganism healthy?
Well, veganism promises to heal humans, the planet, and cease the senseless captivity and death of animals. All sounds great, but I don't believe that veganism really helps much on any of these counts, even though I do believe that vegans almost always have good intentions. And I think we actually share a lot of views. So I subscribe to the logic of paleo, which is that humans evolved over a couple of million years, and we've only really introduced certain foods in the last 10,000 or so. So things like sugar, flour, veg oil, and sometimes dairy can actually be really harmful. That's something I would have in common with vegans. But there isn't a single traditional society who would all live into really old age if they lived past childhood that didn't eat meat. And this is why I worry. I also think that the planetary health claim is overstated. Greenhouse gases per unit of nutrition just don't really aren't much better with plants than animals. So that's my 60 seconds.
Right, it is. You bang on 60 seconds.
Brilliant.
Someone's got a timer in their room.
Well, Monica, I mean, my question is for you, first of all. I mean, you know, a lot of vegans say, well, you know, it's harmful to the animals on the planet. But we know that there's, you know, a lot of the animals that exist right now, cows and chickens, they only exist right now because people are effectively eating them. So actually there'll be way less animals, almost, you know, 10% of the animals that actually exist if human beings weren't keeping them alive for their eventual consumption.
Yeah, I think you've got a good point. I think the problem is that we've got a rising obesity levels in the UK, both in our young and in adults. And it's been known, there's been many studies from the British Heart Foundation, for example, that have told us that eating meat in excess is going to increase your risk of heart disease. And I think what's happened is we've seen a real trend at the moment to go vegan because we're very conscious about our health and we're very conscious about what the foods that we're eating. But, you know, I agree with you in some respects. You know, we have to take a kind of a wider approach to this. We have to say, look, we have a choice here. If we want to choose a vegan diet, then when we really need to be sure that we're aware of what we're actually eating, because with veganism, often you can lack certain vitamins, lack certain nutrients. But equally, if you have a vegan diet, it's been proven to lower your risk of heart disease, for example. So again, it's one of those choices that people make, and often they make perhaps for not looking at all the right reasons to do so. Sometimes it can purely be because they don't want to eat any animal products or any byproducts. But what they're realizing is they need to remember to eat, you know, the nutritious foods to make sure that they are getting all the vitamins and nutrients that their body requires to function.
Yeah, I mean, Ali, Veganism has clearly been rising at quite a significant fold over the last few years. Some people, it's because of climate change and environmental concerns. And other people, are thinking actually human beings are developed now. We're not living hand to mouth for survival as our ancestors did for thousands of years. And just as we now live in completely different conditions than before, then it's not really necessary to, kill animals, to harm them, to put them in these very horrible conditions that many of them are in, just solely for our own taste pleasure.
They do taste good, though.
Yeah, the point about animal cruelty is well taken. I think it's something that vegans get right. I think we need to be very careful to have proper regulation, like we do with pet ownership, for example. There's tens of millions of horses that people keep as pets, and we want them to be treated well while they're alive before they die. Similarly with cows. So I think from an animal cruelty perspective, we've got a lot to learn from vegans in the debate. I think in terms of evolving how we eat, we have to be careful about that because our bodies just don't evolve at a very rapid rate. We can have epigenetic changes, but our genes really have been programmed over a couple of million years. And so we have to be careful that we give the body what it's evolved to thrive on. And just like was said a moment ago, veganism is by definition short of certain nutrients that you can only really find in abundance in foods from animals.
Yeah.
So from a purely human health perspective, it makes sense to focus as a basis of our diet on well-raised ruminant animals, particularly beef and lamb. And we're very lucky in the UK that 65% of UK farmland is only really useful to grow these brilliant animals on.
That's it, right? And there are people's livelihoods dedicated to this as well, so we can't just eradicate it. I suppose the arguments are they could maybe use land for something else, but it's not a quick fix, is it? Monica, I'm concerned, you hopefully educate the nation. I'm concerned about...
I'll try.
About babies being vegan or children being vegan, toddlers, right? That period is a very, very important period of your life nutritionally, isn't it? And is it right there, do you think, to raise your kid vegan?
Yeah, it's one of those questions that's being asked of me all the time, Patrick. And the thing I say is again, you go back to a choice. The parents have a choice. We all have a choice now as to what diet we have. Personally, I would not recommend a vegan diet for a baby or a child under the age of, say, 2, because and it's an important stage of your life, and you're either being breastfed, or you're having milk from a bottle, so you're having formula food, and that's a personal choice. Again, I see arguments on both sides about that. And again, if you look at the studies on both sides will have clear arguments against and for. And it's something, just as Ali said, this is evolving. We haven't been vegan for many, 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 many years. There's always been plants. There's always been the opportunity, but we've always been, as humans, meat eaters. So it's something that we need to really look at and really do some more studies on to make sure that people aren't, especially children, are getting the amount of nutrients that they need. B12 is a classic example of that, Patrick. B12 is commonly lacking and is something that vegans will not have in their diet because it's naturally found in animal foods and foods from animal products. So that's something that they have to have as an addition to their diet. So, for example, fortified foods, which means that when vitamins are added to the food, so they'll have fortified, say, soya milk or almond milk, or they have fortified cereals, because B12 is essential. And when I say essential, it is essential for red cell production. We have to have it. It's essential for our nervous system, and it's essential for the production of our DNA. So if you have a vegan diet and you choose a vegan diet, it really is a lifestyle choice. You have to be fully aware of what nutrients you're having and those that are lacking from the diet that you choose to have.
Thank you very much. We're going to give the final word now over to Ali, and just ask something quite flippant, actually, Ali. What is your favourite meat?
It's definitely lamb. It's lovely slow-cooked lamb shoulder. We're so lucky in the UK to have that in abundance. And
making me hungry.
Bit of rosemary.
I would just say that on health and greenhouse gas emissions per unit nutrition and in world hunger, we need animals. There's 1 billion smallholder farmers in the world who rely on it economically and for their food. We have to ask ourselves, who stands to gain financially? Is it the billion smallholders around the world, or is it that plucky band of massive food conglomerates who would like us to think that patented food-like substances made from, sugar, flour, veg oil, and soil-sapping plants is healthy and morally superior food?
Both of you, thank you very much. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Thank you for making this happen, being such good sports as well. Great to have you on the show. Ali Houston, health coach and food entrepreneur, and Monica Price as well, a nutritionist. Ali, Monica, thank you very, very much. See you soon. All right.